Hello, writers. Welcome to English 137 Technical Writing Online, June and July 2017. As I posted in my notes on Monday, this is the first time we've offered English 137 Technical Writing Online in quite a while. And so I thought I would just introduce myself by using one of these screencasts. These screencasts only go for 15 minutes, which is lucky for you because I tend to babble on. But I'll try and say a few things that will help orient us all to the course. And I'll do a few of these over the course of the semester to try and take us through, for example, the various writing assignments and the major documents and things like that when it's relevant. One of the things I wanted to stress in the introductions on the lesson on Tuesday and in today's materials that I've just posted is that we have a challenge here with an online writing course. I've taught online writing for quite a while. I've taught the course in a 4-week version, which I think is impossible because writing takes time. It takes time to write your draft. It takes time to revise. It takes time to sort of conceive of what you're trying to do with your draft. It takes time to do workshop. And so for many years now, probably for the last 5 years, when I've taught comp online, and I've mostly taught English 135 Composition 1, which is more reflective writing, expressive writing, and English 136 Comp 2, which the way I taught it has usually been persuasive writing. When I've taught these courses online, I've insisted on it being an 8-week format. It's doable, it's accelerated, it's challenging for writers because it is. It's an 8-week compression of a 16-week class. So every time we meet, Monday and Thursday of the summer, we're basically doing a week's worth of material for each one of those class meetings, if that makes some sense. And when I teach class composition face-to-face, I tend to I tend to do usually 3 class meetings a week, 50 minutes a meeting. I like to spread things out and give people room to sort of work with their writing, and we don't have that luxury with a summer class that's accelerated in 8 weeks. And I posted all these materials in the document about working online in our last class meeting. So I hope that you took time to look at that very closely. The other challenge we have with the writing class that we teach online is that most of our communication is just going to have to be through written format. So notes from your instructor, feedback from your instructor, comments to each other, all in written format. And so for people whose writing skills are maybe not that strong to begin with, to be in a very reading intensive class where you have to read a lot of text and write a lot of material, that can be a bit of a challenge as well. But the upside is that we do have this ability to build a writing community. There's only 11 of us enrolled this summer. We'll get to know each other pretty well. That's a reasonable number of people to work with each other's writing. We'll develop a community. Yeah, we'll have to do a lot of writing and back and forth to try and communicate that, but that's a good skill for us to be working on, and we'll be writing from all over the country and all over the state, so that's going to be kind of interesting with a lot of different backgrounds. And there's a bit of more one-on-one sort of relationship that occurs in an online writing class as well. So there are benefits as well as challenges. And I hope those of you that stick with the course will recognize the challenges and be willing to work hard to sort of address those and deal with them realistically over the course of this. Now, as I said in my notes, while I have taught composition many times online, this is the first time I've taught the tech writing course. And it's also tech writing is a relatively new course. It's come back to us. I don't have any special expertise in technical writing. It's something that I've been developing with my students over the last several years because there's a need for it at Chadron State College. And I think it's been fascinating in the process to learn about this type of writing that focuses much more, as I think you'll see in the readings for today and the exercises for today, it focuses much more on sort of workplace writing, writing for the profession, technical professions for the most part, arenas where you really have to communicate things efficiently and very clearly, and you have to usually think of a wide variety of readers, and for that reason, it's an interesting rhetorical challenge. And we'll talk about rhetoric and rhetorical situations in the lesson today. And hopefully this will show you that whether we're doing technical reports or whether we're doing, stories about that summer at the lake or memories of your grandma or the other sort of things that we typically do in a comp class, and maybe you've done in other writing classes, it's all kind of the same. It's all writing. It's all trying to sort of address a specific purpose. You have a document that's trying to do something for a specific set of readers, and you know who you are and what you have to do to get that information or prompt that action effectively for that reading community. And that's the goal of all writing. And so for that reason, technical writing actually fits the outcome of the course very well. Now, I did want to point out that since we met on Monday, I've been able to update the schedule. It's posted on the main page of our course. You'll see that we do have this philosophy over the 8 weeks of meeting basically twice a week, Monday and Thursday. That gives you time between those meetings, and as I stated in the materials posted on Monday, there's an expectation that you will clock in on Monday and Thursday for the next 8 weeks. You'll check out the lesson notes. There'll be some materials from me posted, some pep talks, some admonitions if you're not doing things certain ways, if you're not doing things correctly, if you're getting behind, and then instructions. And then basically you work on your own independently over that period of time generally before the next lesson is posted. You need to check in every noon, though, on Monday and Thursday, because you never know. There might be a forum where we have to do something in 2 parts. So maybe the first part needs to be done in 24 hours, and maybe the next part can be done before the next lesson is posted. But for the most part, you're going to have 2 or 3 days to work on each assignment. And remember, each lesson is the equivalent of a week's worth of work in a regular writing classroom. So be prepared. As you can see, we've divided the course up into basically 8 weeks, 13 lessons, full lessons, with readings, quizzes, forums, a lot of forum activities, and things that will help you sort of apply, because we're not meeting in the classroom to discuss it as a class. You have to work individually, either in a forum or in a quiz format, and basically show me that you've read the materials, you've considered them, and you're thinking about how they apply towards writing. Or when we get into the writing projects, there might be some grammar exercises, there might be some research exercises, there will be homework that you'll need to do to sort of illustrate that you're working on these elements related to the various assignments. So that's basically the way the course is structured. This schedule is likely to change over the course of the semester. It is a challenging schedule because we have an assignment, for example, project number 1 we begin next Thursday, and we're building up to that and laying some groundwork this week and next. But then, within 2 or 3 lessons, you have to post the final draft. Project number 1 is due, and that's just the way it is. We have to get through this material. But the other side of that is that you get done with your writing requirements a little bit sooner. Let's go in and take a look at the syllabus because there's some philosophy about the course that I want to discuss. So if you open up the syllabus, and as I said, this is the first time we've taught this course online. I've taught this course online, and I haven't been teaching. I've been teaching tech writing for about 3 years, so there's a learning curve involved here. But I'm incorporating much of what I've learned in teaching the class online or in the classroom to what we're doing online, and I think that I have a good balance. It's worked pretty well on campus for students to get a variety of technical assignments that also fulfill the main goal, which is the learning outcome for the essential stage learning outcome for number 2, which is your writing component. All students at CSE are taking this writing component, and you'll notice that the outcome says, students will use writing as a tool for learning and thinking and will compose texts that address diverse writing situations purposefully, making appropriate use of evidence and conventions, including standard edited English. So the main thing there is that over the course of the semester, you have 3 major projects. And each of these each project has kind of a different purpose, a different point. And that gets at that idea of composed texts that address diverse writing situations purposefully, right? So part of the consideration is that you figure out what you need to communicate and how for a certain set of readers. And then we have 3 different projects where we do that. And then we do this in a way that hopefully is grammatically correct, that the writing is clear and focused. Those are the elements that we're really working on. There is a link here to the additional learning goals that I think every first-year student should have in a composition course from the AWP, or the WPA, I'm sorry, the Writing Program Administration. And you can click on that link and see how our course aligns with that. Notice also that the English and Humanities Department has set up some criteria here as well that basically relates to unexcused absences. The idea that you're going to do at least 500 words of original writing per week. So for our course, you can expect to be writing about 1,000 words every week, just kind of as a standard thing. And then, of course, your assignments have more writing involved, and that at least one essay be roughly 2,000 words that has certain sort of conventions. We're adhering to that. So be aware of that. And some of that is not just your instructor, but the entire department and the college and the institution as a whole. We're saying we want Chadron State College graduates to be able to write effectively when they graduate. It does you no favors if you have a lot of CSC graduates going out there in the world with poor writing skills, because then when they're hired in various professions, Chadron State College is going to get a bad reputation. So you really want a challenging writing course, and you want your classmates and your fellow graduates to come out of this course with some good writing skills. So that's what we're hoping to do with Essential Studies Outcome number 2 in this course. And you can see some of the course objectives that I've outlined here. You can read through those. But I hope that I've been able to impart for you what is unique about sort of the emphasis we'll be doing on technical writing. A couple of things before I wrap up here. There is this board policy 4141 that says regardless of the mode of teaching format, regardless of where your teaching and learning occurs, there is a national standard for accredited universities that is basically translates into 135 actual hours of work for a 3-credit hour course. That's pretty standard across the country. In this section of the syllabus, you'll see how it is broken down about what we'll be doing in the next 8 weeks. This is a challenge for you. You need to be able to set aside time each week. It says here about 17 to 18 hours, but it may be more or less depending on how much time it takes you to complete some of the assignments. A lot of reading and a lot of writing in this course. I mean, it's an English course, so be prepared. But it is a measured amount. I have planned out the schedule and the syllabus with quite a bit of experience. I'm trying not to overload you. We have one textbook that we're using. We might use a few supplementary examples and writing samples outside of this, but for the most part, for 8 weeks, this is manageable. We're doing a lot of writing and a lot of reading, but there is an attempt to sort of manage it so that it is doable, so that it is not overwhelming. And if there is a sense that there's too much material being posted at various times, the schedule might be adjusted to make that case. Required textbooks, I just was holding up the text. This is kind of interesting. This is a new text. I'm using it for the first time this summer. I've been using a different text in my previous tech writing courses. This text is a little bit more concise. It's also much more affordable than the other text that I was using. But because of that, I'm kind of learning as we go through the text as well. The basic concepts are pretty much the same in all the texts. But, and I did add this on the syllabus. It wasn't posted on Monday, but if you have a copy of an APA style guide, it's probably going to do you a lot of good in this course over the course of the semester. There are resources that can help you with APA, but that can be very helpful. Now, to wrap up here, I just want to very briefly touch upon the assignments. You have 3 major projects. You can read about them in the syllabus. They build upon each other. One is producing a set of instructions, basically. The second one is a literature review, where you will do some actual research and write about sources. And the third project is really any sort of technical writing document that you can dream up that you would be interested in completing, hopefully from a real-world example. We'll talk about each of these assignments in a lot of detail when we enter those units over the course of the semester. I hope that you have a sense of the way the course is going to be constructed this semester. If you have any questions, please contact me by email. I check my email all the time throughout the day, so just send me an email and I'll respond to you as soon as possible. I'm glad to have you here for this summer. Let's get going.